What's the big fuss about when it comes to plagiarism? When you think about it, everything we say or write has probably been said or written before, and that there is no way to not plagiarize someone. That's crazy, right? You may have even heard that there are teachers just waiting to pounce on your work and fail you for the slightest violation of plagiarism. Whether that's true or not, just assume that someone or some algorithm is watching everything you do. To help you better understand what plagiarism is, I'm going to share with you what I consider to be the top 5 violations and the simplest ways to avoid them. But before I do that, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel so you can have faster access to all of the student success videos that can help you reach your goals. Remember, my goal is that your success is the goal. Also, make sure to ding that notification bell to be notified of new videos that are posted twice a week. If you were to ask any of my past or current 800 plus college students what the 2 best words are to help you cite your sources and protect yourself from being accused of plagiarism, they better and most likely will answer according to. I can't say it enough to avoid plagiarizing. When citing your sources, the simplest way to do this is just to say according to and then provide the correct reference information. Let's establish a common definition of what plagiarism is. According to plagiarism.org's website, plagiarism is taking someone else's work and presenting it as your own without giving proper credit. See how I did that? If you get it, that's great. And if not, keep watching for more tips and situations to avoid when creating your final document for assignments and projects. The odds of you being caught for plagiarizing are extremely and highly probable when you consider that plagiarism checkers such as Scribr can compare your work against 70 billion past and present web pages. On Scribr's own website, it states clearly that your work is also checked against 69 million journal articles and books from over 1,700 publishers. If you have ever heard of someone cheating and plagiarizing and got away with it, all I can say is don't try it. Chances are it may not be a true story, and the second reason is that if you do the same, assume you will get caught and suffer the consequences. The consequences for plagiarizing can vary depending on the severity, your teacher, your school, and/or your line of work. Some of the consequences may range from having to go to plagiarism school to, let's just say, being expelled from your college. Now, in the real world, plagiarizing can be considered a theft of intellectual property that can be very costly in legal fees and penalties, on top of suffering through an expensive lawsuit and/or getting fired where then you can't afford the lawsuit. If you get nothing else out of this video, remember that actions and inactions when it comes to plagiarism have consequences that you will be held accountable for. The worst violation in plagiarizing is turning in someone else's work with your name on it. This is beyond a doubt the fastest way to fail an assignment and fail a class. That's only if you're in high school. If you're in college, add to those penalties the embarrassment of having to go before your dean, a student conduct hearing committee, a suspension, and even the possibility of being expelled with no refund of your money for a stupid decision to cheat and plagiarize. Just imagine, you have already invested tens of thousands of dollars towards your college degree, and then you're not even able to finish your degree because of that stupid decision. Well, good luck getting a job after that to pay back the money you owe. And just so you know, if you believe that buying a paper from one of those paper mills online is going to protect you with their personal guarantee of not getting caught, I've got a great investment for you to pour your money into, and I mean invest your money into. You got the idea? The second worst violation, in my opinion, is when you copy and paste directly from a source and do not credit the source. What is often called the Control-C method of plagiarism can easily be avoided by just copying and pasting the information you want to use into a separate work file along with the reference information needed to show where it came from, and then massage it and mold it and paraphrase it into the material you want to use for your final product. Also, make sure it is fully credited of where it came from. This brings us to the third worst violation that may seem harmless, But according to Turnitin's website, if you even paraphrase or remix someone else's information and do not credit that information, that is still plagiarism and will open yourself to accusations that will be pretty hard to defend. Unless, of course, you properly cite your sources. Even by twisting sentences around and changing a few words within those sentences here and there to a concept or idea from someone else's work requires a citation to protect yourself from being accused of plagiarism. The fourth plagiarism violation is one that a teacher can easily identify without the need for software. When a student takes a few lines or ideas from several sources and merges them all together, there's a real easy to see pattern. It just is there. This usually looks like a list of facts or claims and is very unnatural looking in the flow of the paper. That's why I'm laughing, because I've witnessed this myself quite a few times. And believe me, when I tell you that I've seen this and it sticks out so easily that I can be half asleep grading at 5:30 in the morning and still catch it. Now, if there is no citation, I let the student know that they need to include citations for their final work very quickly and resubmit their work for the final work. I'm a nice teacher. If they don't do that, I can choose to give them an F for that assignment. It's pretty easy for me. Tough for them, right? It's a good thing I never had to do that, though. It usually works with the first warning. However, there are teachers who will run all assignments through a plagiarism checker and fail the student while sending the findings to the Student Conduct Committee for review. First-time offenders might just get a warning. Second or third offenders will most likely be called out for more severe consequences. The last violation of plagiarism that I want to share with you seems like it shouldn't matter, but it does. This is called double dipping or self-plagiarism. Now, you might think that this is okay to use your own paper, your own work that you created and wrote and turned in for another class in the past. But you would be making a huge mistake in that decision. You can, however, use pieces and parts of your old work, but still must cite where it came from, even if it's from yourself. Depending on your school, the consequences of this type of plagiarism vary, so just follow the rules and don't be a fool. I'm sure someone even said that before. Do I need to cite that too? To play any game right, you need to know and follow the rules, even if you think the rules are not fair. Avoiding plagiarism is easy when you're aware and understand what it is and how to easily avoid it. If you really want to protect yourself from being accused of plagiarism, even accidentally, submit your work to your school's plagiarism checker and let it show you the possible errors to save you unnecessary stress in the future. If your school does not have a plagiarism checker, you can always go ask the librarian for help. You'd be surprised what librarians know. To be proactive in preventing even accidental plagiarism, start your assignments early enough to not put yourself in any situation that can even tempt you to think about purposefully plagiarizing. Always create your own work, and if you do include someone else's work, or you found it on the internet, or in a magazine, or in a book, or on a billboard, or heard it, make sure you cite it and include proper references, whether it's APA or MLA. Your school should have a writing center available to you that is more than ready and able to assist you in learning more about how to properly use APA or MLA formatting. Stop plagiarism. Don't be naive or complacent when it comes to your assignments that you won't get caught cheating. Why would you even risk your expensive college degree and future career ambitions all because you got a little bit lazy and crossed the line that should have never even been approached or crossed in the first place? Don't cheat. Don't plagiarize. Be creative, be original, and I'll see you online. I've heard that before. Do I need to cite that too? See ya.